Hello and welcome back to the Moebius Chronicles. As you can see, today we are about to do something different. We will be doing a group review of 4 catalogues which are related to each other, as they're all part of the Italian Moebius exhibition tour of 1994 and 1998. The exhibition started in Palermo to then move on to Milan and then Venice, and concluded with a smaller exhibit in Lumezzane Pieve in the outskirts of the city of Brescia. All 4 cities had their own catalogue published by Nuages. And yes, I did say 4 catalogues, and as you can see, I only have 3 in front of me, and the one missing, which I do not own, is the Palermo edition, which confusingly is also called Infinito, the same as the Venice catalogue. So I will talk about it, of course, but I will not be able to show it. Still, this is not going to be an issue, and you'll soon find out why. They're all quite rare, and the price tag is quite juicy. As of today, I've seen these for sale for anything between 100 and 800 euros, depending on the catalogue. But there is something special about these, and that is that the content overlaps across all 4 of these books, making it quite annoying when it comes to collecting them, of course. So if you're planning to collect them and you're not aware of it, this can become an issue, especially in these price ranges. So that is why I wanted to go more in depth on these, looking at them from a collector's point of view and show you which ones you can ignore and which ones you should consider purchasing without ending up with too much duplicated content. And most of all, without wasting your money. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with Sogni. Sogni, which in Italian means dreams, was among these 4 catalogues published last in October 1998. It is a soft cover which is only 28 pages long, and all of these 28 pages are contained in the Infinito catalogue from the Palermo exhibit of October 1997. It is quite rare and goes for around 200 euros at auction, I would say. So if you find this for real cheap, great, go for it. But otherwise, don't bother. It is not worth your money, and you should really focus on the others, especially considering that this is 28 pages long. Fun fact about this specific catalogue is that it has also been published in French under the name Rêve, and it looks exactly the same, completely identical. The color, the cover, everything. So yes, this was Sogni. Moving on, we have what I call the Blue Infinito, which is the catalogue from the Palermo exhibit, which, as I said, I do not have. This is 80 pages long, and as we said, contains all of Sogni. But on top of that, the 80 pages in this book are contained in the exact order in these other 2 catalogues, one of which is confusingly called the exact same. So we have the Palermo Infinito and the Venice Infinito. The Palermo Infinito, or the Blue Infinito as I also call it, is quite rare as well, and goes for around 150 euros at auction as of now. It is a beautiful book, and it's a great choice if you don't have the budget for the other 2. For the next 2 I will be talking about, which are Visioni di fine millennio, which in Italian means visions from the end of the millennium, and it was published in November 1997 for the Milan exhibit. And of course we have Infinito, published in January 1998 for the Venice exhibit. These are respectively 96 pages and 110 pages long. They both contain the exact same content as the Palermo Infinito up to page 80. And of course they contain all of the content of Sogni. But they do have around 20 and 30 pages more at the end of each. So there's 20 more pages here and 30 more pages here, but the first 80 pages are identical in both books. And these last 20 and 30 pages are completely different and not repeated among these two. Both of these catalogs are very rare, and the first one sells for between 100 and 200 euros, I would say, while the white Infinito is your white whale, if you want. And I've seen it for anything between 300 and 800 euros. Even though I think 800 is a bit excessive for this book. I've seen one which has been on eBay for several months lately at 800 euros, but nobody has been crazy enough to bid on it. So probably I would say 600 euros is more realistic as a maximum price for this at the moment. But of course, all of these books keep going up in time. So here you go. So if you're planning to take the dive and purchase any of these four, I would recommend you get Visioni and Infinito, as they really complete each other, and you can totally ignore the other two since their content is present in full in both of these. In my opinion, these catalogs are beautiful. They are soft cover, so finding them in mint condition is even harder, but the content is fantastic. And there's a lot of stuff that has not been shown in other Moebius books to date. So that is the end of my overview, but if you stick around, I will do a complete flip through of the Infinito catalog and then of the last pages of Visioni di fine millennio, so that you can get to see all of the content and decide yourself if you want to pursue collecting them. Here we go. And here we go. That was it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this review. So thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for more. Bye.